think I'm probably missing an A. An A. And hi, Nayak. I'm fine, thank you very much. Guys, you don't know what I'm doing when I'm looking closer to the screen is to see your profile pictures, sort of thing. And I think you have two scrolls on yours. Was I missing an A then? Yes. Yeah, I'm actually very well today. Just forwarded some answers to a nature's organization that is going to publish some of my material. They had some questions about the technique. Hello, Drummer. Technique and the correlation between naturism and art, things like that. So I told them and I sent an email. You love my hair. Oh well, there's plenty of it, I tell you. I've been bald before as well, but thank you very much. There's some of it probably circulating away, far away from me as well. So maybe you love a wig on some granny, or I don't know, or a little mustache on someone, or a doll's head. I don't know what they do with it. And the last time I shaved to bald, my hair was even I think a little bit longer than now. So yeah, they got the proper bunch. Yeah. And if I wanted to shave, I could have many hamster size pieces too. Oh, okay. Yes, there was funny discussion I heard about it because if there's people who make wigs, and they said they don't like the hair that much with the well, one person told me that for certain group of people they don't like the hair of my type of tone because of urban sort of red tinge in it or redness in it in some way, and they don't like that kind of thing. But then another lady told me that they like it very much, so I don't know what it is about. Yeah, and yesterday in one of the shops, I've seen a lady with the wig on, and it seemed to stay on pretty well. I didn't pull to try it, but it seemed to have been glued on well. But sometimes when they have extensions attached to here, that is a funny thing because the girls have like here is shorter and then here is extensions attached, and then it's like very strange to put the fingers through here and like feel all the little knots where the attachments are. I would be I am very disturbed by that kind of thing. I don't like it, to be honest. But I can pretty well spot visually the structure of a natural hair in a difference to synthetic hair. That's how my eye is trained in structures like real wood in opposition to some kind of wooden veneers or things painted wood like. The same is with hair. You can see if you focus your eye in the right way. You can see a difference between structure of the real hair and between and real hair and synthetic. Greetings. Hi, SKT. How are you? I'm doing amazing. How are you? Very well, thank you very much. I have just written some answers to an organization that wants to publish some article about the things I do. It has to do with naturism and art and correlation between the two. Really interesting, actually, and it got me to like think about it and give them answers and sort of put things in interesting order um, as a way of answering to them, but also made me think of different forms of presenting things to people I speak to. Interesting, actually, yeah. And other than that, as usually, I'm painting long hours every day, so I stream now from this one. It's quite a large composition. It's 1 meter 70 on the longer edge. Sounds interesting. Yeah, it was. It was actually. We will see how it sort of how it turns out. It's interesting the whole thing with naturism and its tradition. In Europe, is very strong, but actually, the tradition of and it's slightly can get slightly political, like with the movements of various types, like but the tradition of art and nudity in art, especially coming importantly female nudes in in masterpieces from the art history, is far longer than that. Nobody called it naturism or non-naturism. It was just human things, and that's interesting. But I slightly understand what they mean when they want to like normalize naturism and so on, because people need to be be cool and treat it as a common thing and human anatomy and human body, because we live in a physical world where people come with bodies. They're not just like thoughts and minds. Even if they're online, they still have their bodies. They're breathing, walking, the blood is circulating, things like that. Some are very heavily conceptual, and I think reminding them of the physical aspects and body type aspects can sort of bring them down to earth. It's funny, we can observe animals in their natural habitat, but if it's humans, a lot of people, yeah, get offended or afraid. Exactly. And that is honestly not very healthy, because then when it comes to health issues, people cannot help themselves. If they have become estranged to their own anatomy, then how can they get healthy? How can they even try to seek help? How do they know? When what I find dangerous is when it gets to the level that people so much became estranged to their bodies that they sort of lose contact with it. They stop feeling things that they naturally should feel, like like the signs of problems, even signs of sickness, and it happens like that. And it starts from sort of refusing to look at the body. because when people look, they can see sometimes subtle things that have big importance, like when knee is a little bit swollen, or the lymph nodes can get swollen on human body, things like that. And also a lot of things to do with inside of the body too. It's not good when people lose touch of it. And it's not so disconnected also as something that they can be so fine in their mind but completely abandon their bodies. It just doesn't work like that, because mind is also part of the physical body too. I'm happy to be from a country where public nudity is common. Oh, that's great, Katie. Which country are you from then? In my country, it's not common at all. Ah, you're from Sweden. Great, that's really good. I am Polish from Poland, and in my country there is not such thing. I know that there are some states in America where ladies can be topless equally to men. I think that this kind of feminist work that did that. Some things like that are interesting. But for example, look, people when they work in heat, from early age, all kids shall in school only separated by gender. Yeah, right. Yeah, what I meant to say was about working topless. Historically, in before, people did so equally. So, yeah, in a way, talking about equality, but some things were more equal before than now. Like when women worked before, they did so topless. I've seen some drawings of ladies who work in mines, digging out coal, and they were doing so topless for safety also, because if they had any type of clothing it could get caught in a mine and it could be dangerous. So yeah, things like that existed before just for practical reasons, and people tend to forget about it. Like not everybody was born through this. And I think the more censored and strange it becomes, the few tribes that still exist, most of the women are still topless. Exactly, exactly. Yes, I actually think that all the bras are very unhealthy too. I mean, it's personal choice, and every woman chooses for herself. But or just wearing such a thing, I don't think it goes with the nature of the body, and I think it restricts its function. Thank you, Ricky, for a hard award. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've seen one nice woman whose girls were free yesterday, and I appreciate it. I didn't know her, but I said, "Oh, good, your girls are free. That's nice." always good to see like a breath of fresh air. When I do fashion shows, my models also don't wear those. They wear no makeup, no bras, and no shoes. Some people have funny ideas about it, especially when it comes to sports. Um, it's like a misconception when people think that they won't be able to do sports activities like that. But it's not true because a lot of sports people do so. I don't do anything political nor religious, so I don't have anything to do with that sort of aspect of it. I'm just a naturist artist, and what do I mean? What about the sport thing? Because I was speaking about it with my mother recently, and she said that she cannot do her skipping route and because of the big breasts, skipping rope. She cannot do the skipping rope. Wait a minute, hold it. Because she cannot do the skipping rope because her breasts are disturbing her. So um, it isn't true, and the fact of wearing or not wearing a bra doesn't really change. And I know a lot of athlete girls um who do their exercises naked too because it sort of allows the skin to breathe, and that would be difficult. No, it isn't. I think when somebody doesn't do sport, then when they start doing it, anything is difficult, and if they haven't sort of looked after their body, then like any muscle or any body tissue, it gets sluggish, and that you wish you could exercise naked. All right, I think you can do in when there's no one around, you know. Originally in the Olympics, athletes did so. That's why when you see those old drawings from the ancient Greece, you see people being nude, competing like competing in Olympics naked. So all the ancient Olympics were run in that way because they didn't want to disable the body's ability to perform at its best. And also, there is a lot of places in every country, and especially if you are from Sweden, you'll find in Sweden for naked yoga and so on. So if you want to exercise like that, you surely will be able to do it at naked yoga lessons. They are very popular everywhere. It's actually funny, all the sports clothes market is sweat absorbent and stuff, but it would be needed wouldn't be needed if you just did naked. Exactly, SKP. Because ultimately it is therefore it's like I'm a fashion designer also, and I design fashion and hand stitch it, so not with a machine, and I design prototypes that perfect in a perfect harmonious way coexist with the female anatomy, and so much so that it is equal or towards being naked because they fit so well to the anatomy. That's the idea. That then allows person to move in the most comfortable way, and that's what a lot of clothes things are about, to allow people move, and also not to restrict their circulation and so on. We have a lot of people doing winter swimming naked here. Oh, I know this. Here also people do, but not completely naked. I don't like it. It's very difficult because it's a different issue. Like I don't think it's healthy for everyone. It's like not everybody likes to eat the same thing, right? I think it's the same for temperature and this sort of braving the cold. I've seen it finishing badly for some. I think it doesn't fit to everybody, and not everybody is fit for that also, because some do breathing exercises and so on. But my body, for example, wouldn't function like that because I am used to working in a very high temperatures, And I know what they say, like this breathing guy who goes extreme cold and extreme heat and that, and he says it's all from breathing exercises and that, but I know it's just not for me, this cold swimming. It's funny that you named yourself Guru, SKT. Do you know any real gurus? No, do they still exist? Look, yes, of course they do. One good one is to check on YouTube. I feel like only fake gurus exist now. Well, no, there are some real ones. One you can check out on YouTube, and his name is, watch out. Okay, his name is Parahamsa Nitanyanda. If you try to type that into YouTube, you will see one. He really wears funny fashion, and he always sits on a throne. And there's lots of videos of him. He's got his sort of students, disciples, and so on. And he sits in his throne and talks to large crowds, and people go to his sort of educational institutions from everywhere. It's really funny to see, and it's interesting that you can simply find it on YouTube. Yeah, and he sort of sits in this traditional places with traditional clothing and explains how to deal with some issues. Some YouTube clips are very long and can get really boring, and that I have no religion and no politics, so it's nothing to me. It would be just like sitting in church for a long time. But it is funny to see that they still exist, and they keep to those traditional forms with all the with all its pageantry, because you get the throne and you get the all the guru fashion and all the gold around and all the symbols and all the sort of jewelry, and that the pageantry around it is interesting to see. So whenever I see your thing and it says guru, I think of that type of thing. And it's when there's some white people who go and get trained by this guru, and they come back and also wear those necklaces and take on the fashion and the lifestyle. You like to listen to Rastafarians, they are so wise and cool. All right, yes, the Caribbean thing is also very strong, and there is a lot from there, and they've been doing their marketing really heavily recently. That's true. But the one I mentioned about is the original one from India, still continuing their old traditions. It's a bit like Dalai Lama and so on. It's one of those spiritual leaders with like history and the tradition and the roots and sort of thing. The difference is though that unlike the Jamaican ones, the Indian ones, they don't simplify anything. So they speak like the old texts from the old books and so on, using this ancient language, and it's still very much keep to original. So they don't mash and pre-digest it for the people. They just go on with really difficult stuff. I saw a documentary on Netflix of a famous guru from India who tried to root a city in America. Oh, interesting. I didn't see that. I don't know which one are you talking about. But there is quite some. That's in India the most. That's where the Beatles went to learn from the Indian guru. I think that in India they're the most intricate and the most intellectually challenging, I would say. Yeah, and it's true then they often can build such a complicated and complex institutions that it can become a city-like thing and so on. Often the monasteries, and it's the same as Buddhists. They also do this kind of thing. They establish entities that are really colossal in size, amount of people, the buildings, and so on. Yeah, the whole establishment for different things. It can grow very big for those spiritual leaders. That's why I'm glad to not have any religion and stay away from all the religious and political things. Because I think if I was into it, it'd be very complicated. I save myself some trouble. Plus, to be honest, they all treat females in a different, in not the most advantageous way. So, where's their place for me in any way? I know that some will say otherwise for some religious institutions, but majority is that religion today is business. Yeah, it's a kind of NGO type thing. Exactly, it's a kind of like, yeah, institution, and it has to do with politics in some kind of way and with business in some kind of way. It's true. That's why I'm also glad not to have anything to do with it. I've seen some story about a poor Thai lady who like really earned a lot of money, and so much of it she dedicated to the Buddhist monastery. It was just unbelievable, and over the years she just gave them fortune, working like an ant herself every day, every day, every day. It was hard to hear that story, really. And then I think there was also an interview with the lady, and she just was reassured that she's doing the right thing and the best she can, and she was so totally charmed by the whole establishment. Isn't majority in Poland Catholic? Yes, religion is very strong in my country. Catholic is majority of religion. That's right. And some people sort of unify the national values with Catholic values, which is like, yeah, when they want to refer to some traditions and customs, they bring in religion automatically. So it can get really tricky actually, because it's hard to distinguish between what actually is a tradition of a nation and customs from the place, and which are the religious ones. And Poland was communist, so like all the communist countries, they sort of wiped out a lot of intellectuals and all the cultural things. So then then they try to bring it back and sort of reinvent it. But when something like happens, this kind of cultural devolution type thing, then sometimes there is not much of it left, and then they have to reinvent it. I've seen some of the things like that in my country. Like something, it was tried to be packaged as a regional dance from the mountain people, right? And I looked at it and I saw it wasn't. So it wasn't indigenous from here, from those mountain people. It was totally reinvented, branded thing. I don't like that, to be honest. So when so in a way, I think it happened like that. That's trying to reinvent its culture after the communism. It all broke and fell onto Catholic resources. So now mostly when you try to speak to people about culture and tradition, all they have to refer themselves to is the religious traditions and so on. Some know some other things, but it's just such a vague memories of like all the pagan things or different things that pagan things. Pagan, I speak funny, I know. All the pagan things that have happened before. The memory of it is so vague that it doesn't make sense anymore, and it uses its um, uses the back uses the, it loses its backbone. Doesn't make sense anymore. Plus, there's been a lot of sort of programs for regional support and things like that, European programs and things, which sort of I see have pushed people to rehash and reinvent the so-called regional traditions and so on, which aren't that, which were long gone, and that then again can create kind of nationalism and regional nationalism, which I don't like as well. And that is why I stay away from all the political and religious things, because ultimately it doesn't bring anything good, and I find it empty. There's nothing in there. it's a chaos here too, because we have a lot of Middle Eastern immigrants who can't join our traditions due to their religion and stuff. Exactly, yes, it gets like that. And then there is like funny thing because the countries, like even my country, try to be multicultural, but at the same time get fund and support for regional programs which get nationalistic. It just doesn't make. So some people feel attacked if an immigrant and want to participate. Exactly. It gets really funny. Yeah. That's why also I don't like this kind of thing and like to stay away from it because it seems like when you start to participate in any of those things, whatever you do wrong. There's just literally no moves you can have that are right. Just everything, whatever you do, somebody will be angry or something will be wrong or you will offend someone. And as I am a very honest, straight speaking person, I know that there is no place for me in such organizations and places like that because I would automatically offend people just by staying honest, and I don't want to compromise my honesty because that would affect my objectivity and my technique in painting, and I can't afford to do that. So that's why I just stay away. Yeah, it's such a mess if you try to fix it. Exactly. Even with the best intentions. Yes, it's true. Even as a peacemaker. Oh my, watch your head. Yes. I do like that we try to change some things like the treatment of women and such. But it's hard because some are very religious and expect their wife and daughters not to get education to cover their body fully and all that. Exactly, SKP. More than that, women themselves continue this. So how can you want to help women and improve their treatment if they don't want to be helped? They want to be treated like that. And then the grandmothers, they do this, even this female genital mutilation to their granddaughters and so on. And they run it themselves by themselves and they say they want it. It's not because they want to study and grow, but they are held back. Yeah, that's what they say. Exactly. It is really hard. I've seen some really like strange things and strange stories. Like yeah, some even to do with that hard topic um of those traditional things they do to the girls, and that is really hard. I've even spoken to them before, and I asked them like, why do you do that thing? And I asked actually, why do they do this female genetical mutilation? Genetical. You see how I speak. And I asked them, why do they do female genital mutilation? And they told me why, but the answers they give you, I tell you, it's not worth repeating. It just doesn't make sense. Why can't the word just be love and peace? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I know why, because some people don't like to just mind their own business because they have nothing else to do, and they grow jealous of others, and they spend their lives and their energy and their attention on trying to destroy things for others, and that's the problem. Some don't spend their energy in trying to improve or do anything better for themselves. They're just jealous monkeys, and they try to diminish the others who they are jealous of. That's as simple as that. Because if everybody just minded their own business and tried to do the best they can, that would be so, because the direction of everyone would be an improvement. And even if someone did something wrong, anyway, they would try to improve and it would go better eventually. But the problem is those jealous ones who, like, they see that someone else has it, so they want the same or more, and that's what it is. This jealousy thing. That's why I don't like jealousy in any form. It's such a luxury that humans don't have to hunt and work all day just to survive like animals, but we use all this free time now on so many bad things. Yeah, and but to be honest, the mechanisms were the same when people had to hunt or not, because then there would be like a one hunting hero before, and the other ones would be jealous and just try to um, do some trick to, for example, steal what the good one hunted. So it's the same mechanisms. I don't feel like we have improved so much. I don't feel like we live in such an advanced civilization at all. I still see it's very, very primitive. And hunting or not hunting doesn't really change that much to me, to be honest. I see, yeah, I don't feel like we are so advanced or anything. And a lot of people, to be honest, still live within those survival mechanisms. When you ask them how to speak about their life, their work, their education, it's not living on a different level than a basic survival. Yeah, that's true. Humans are just terrible. No, I think some are really, really good. I think some are really, really alright, and some are just spoiled rotten. I think that's the nature of it. Like some are good, some are not, and I think it's not possible to make such a general assumptions of like and making all this. That's why I don't like making all these algorithms and average thing of this or that, because it's all ultimately based on individuals, and they all are different, common different values and so on. And okay, maybe all the averages and that the best, but there's some really good ones. Like there are some bad ones, but I think treating it in a more individualistic way rather than all these algorithms and average could help to deal with those rotten ones, if you know what I mean, because they would be pointed, it would be like a light shining at them and all their mischief and so on. I speak funny today. But mainly what I mean is that I think there are some really alright ones and some spoiled rotten, and that is not good to make an average of them, because then it loses its sense, and there is no way of navigating amongst them. And most of the organizations, like, they do this kind of thing. They do this average calculation algorithm thing of people, and that's where they're so helpless. And some are really lovely, like sweetie, lovely loves. I'm very social and sociable person. I like girls. I'm into girls. So that's the thing. But yeah, I like them very much, and some are really lovely, and they're also humans, but they're very nice. Some are really beautiful and can do nice things, and some have lovely bottoms. Not so terrible. True. Yeah. Yeah, ultimately there is no reason to feel bad because that's what those rotten ones and jealous one wants you to do. Like ultimately they want to take your like hope away and yeah, to sort of demotivate. And they try to do that to me all the time. That's how I know it. They try to like put me off anything. They try to put off pleasures of food, of sensual pleasures, of beauty ideas. I try to put off. They do that to me all the time because I like beauty and I'm a perfectionist. Do you use any products like moisturizer or creams? Yes, I do. You mean on skin or in the air? On the skin? Yes, I do. I do. And recently I've made the rose water, but on the skin I use oils and such, natural things, not like things that I make myself, right? Like rose water. Me and my sweetie we made recently from the freshly picked rose petals, and that we spray for face. Yes, I use that. I am using lavender in olive oil. I sort of extract lavender from olive oil. So I use lavender and olive oil. I use sometimes tea tree oil mixed with other oils. I use shea butter. I use coconut oil. It really varies. I never wear makeup, but depending on, because your skin, it absorbs things, right? So it's like food, and on different days you need different things on your skin. Like sometimes it needs this or that nutrient, and I have learned to use those nutrients from oils or flowers or herbs, depending on. I have a shine to my face. Yes, I have oil on my face. Yeah. And I never wear makeup, so that's why also. I also live in a place where the air isn't the best quality always, so that's what I also have to watch out for, like pollution and so on. That's also why that is also what I have in mind while using the things I use. Like, so that's why sometimes I add some eucalyptus oil to it, or yeah, or like I said, tea tree oil. Yeah, I use various things like that that I mix myself. And if I have a burn, or mm, if there's like a scratch or burn on the skin, then I use myrrh. Sometimes also I use honey for the skin. See, I use a lot of things, but anything I use is something that I eat as well, because skin absorbs nutrients, and so I don't put on cosmetics and things that I wouldn't eat. And natural supplements or drinks too. Well, if you call herbal tea supplements, I drink a lot of herbal teas, but I don't take any supplements. I just eat very natural things. I never eat processed food. Like now, right now, I am cooling beans for natto. You know, natto. It's like sticky, stinky beans. I also brew kombucha. I do all the milk kefir, water kefir things. I make sauerkraut, kimchi, sriracha, like fermented by myself, right? So I do a lot of things like that actually, yes. Mhm. I eat a lot of meat too, so don't think I'm a vegetarian. I eat chicken's feet, I eat animals' livers, hearts, and things like that. Pig's feet, pig's tails. So watch out for me because I'm a real carnivore. That's so cool. Yeah, it is. It is interesting. You see, I have to. I work with my body, and I have to have a very stable energy. And it's funny because people sometimes think about artists that they use substances and so on. For me, it's opposite. I have to keep very sober mind for my technique, and I have to keep very stable, and that goes with nutrients and nourishing the body in the right way. Makes sense. Yes, yes, it does. And it is interesting because I speak to other people who do that, and it's interesting for me. It was interesting to find out that again, sports people eat those things also. So they also eat like bristles and funny meat parts, um, to to have the right nutrients and energy to do the things they do. It was interesting for me to find out. Unfortunately, in my country, those things are sold easily. You can find at the butchers, uh, all the organ meat and so on, including skin even. I also eat pig's skin a lot. I get it from the butchers. I like the consistency of it very much. It's sticky and gelatinous. And as I always work long hours, I cannot have this like ups and downs with energy, and that's why I don't have this sugar based diet thing also. That was the first thing. Pig skin, like bacon. Yes, but only the skin. Like on the bacon. Yeah, like like Danish crackling and thing like that. You can make of it. But just the skin, just the outer layer, the finest skin part, just on the outside of the pig. And the way I cook it is not actually like a bacon, although you can dry it and have it crispy, but I usually make add it to the stews. So it's like sloppy and gluey and sticky. And when you put the dish in the fridge, it can set as a stiff thing. That's how I do pig skin. We had it yesterday. It was lovely actually. Just stew it with a lot of wet vegetables. I don't add water either, but then stew it with lots of soft vegetables like green peppers. I use a lot, or aubergine and onions and courgette, things like that, and uh, cook it over a long time on a small heat. And it can be very simple. You can just use skin, salt, pepper, and soft vegetables and stew it over a long time on a low heat. And it's amazing. And it has a lot of collagen and things. So then again, it's good for your skin also and for your organs also, because all the organs use this collagen to make the tissues. So I was getting the skin from the butchers the last time, and they were like surprised I'm asking for it, and they said, "What is it? What do you do with the skin? Why are you getting the skin?" And then I told them that I cook it like that, and I eat it, and I like to eat it, and it's nutritious and so on. And they said, "All right," because there was a man here, and he had this sort of hernia. His intestines were sort of sick, and he healed himself eating that. And they thought maybe I have something like that. No, I don't have anything like that. But it was interesting to hear that some people eat this, eat pig skin to heal their organs or something. It was interesting to find out. And then the butchers told me that this person came to thank them and so on, because they really appreciated that they could get the natural pig skin to feed their body tissues, so they wouldn't have to have another operation or even worse. Yeah, it was interesting to find out. Where did I learn stuff like this? I started during my apprenticeship, where I stopped eating sugar and things like sweets, candies, cakes, and food with sugar, because I knew, look, apprenticeship for a Master of Pre-Classical Realism is 5 years, drawing and painting 10 hours a day, every day, right? And so you cannot have those energy spikes like from the sugar-based diet. Um, so at first I started with not eating anything that has sugar in it. And then I gradually stopped eating processed foods. And then I gradually learned to, actually, I had a lot of girlfriends, and so I didn't learn any cooking thing from my mom or grandma or things like that, nothing. So I don't cook traditional Polish dishes at all, although I know how to do them, because after I've learned how to cook, I kind of rewound it. Is that another painting behind you? Yes, that's a painting of the deep space with the black hole. It's 1.5 meters by 1.5 meters. That's a finished painting. It's on my side. The full picture is on my side as well. So then when I've learned from my girlfriends, then I could rewind and understand what did I eat when my mother was cooking and my grandma and so on. But I gradually, after disincluding sugar from the diet, I gradually disincluded all the processed foods. And then there was a lady who taught me. There was a lady who taught me specifically a lot of things like that, and she told me about the various ingredients and so on, and about fermentation. and I slowly started to do more and more things like that, more fermented things and more interesting things with different probiotics and different strains of bacteria. Because sauerkraut is one thing, you can make it in a simpler way, and you can just use cabbage and salt. But to start natto, to start fermenting those stinky beans, you have to have the starter sort of thing, which isn't that difficult, but you have to know it because um, sometimes you may need to get the starter named starter and brand it as such. But for example, for natto, you can just get one of those 3 packs of natto from the Asian food store, and you can use one as a starter. So some things took me longer time to realize, like this thing of the starters for fermentation, that I can actually, it took me a very long time to realize that I can use one of those natto packages from the shop to start my own fermentation of the beans. Uh, that I think was the longest type of thing to realize what can I get where. And the whole fermentation as the next level of cooking thing. There was also a time where I used to eat lots and lots of fish because we would get 5 kilos of fresh fish and lobsters straight from the fishing boat from the fishermen and things like that. So that I think had influence as well. So I've even learned some ways of like how the fishermen prepare food and things like that. Yeah, various things from various people through experience. I think that's the most of the part. And many girlfriends. That helps. Wasn't it hard to cut out sugars and change your diet like this? No, it wasn't as Katie because I was so much into meat and fish, and as I cut out at the same time as I stopped eating sugary things, I already knew that they aren't the best for you, and I already didn't enjoy this energy spikes, this boost of energy after eating sugar things, and then the tiredness feeling when the effect of it wears off. I didn't like to function this way because my I just have it fits my metabolism, and the way I trained through my artwork and the way I trained into my profession was also to be able to rather endure long hours of meticulous work than do any like spectacular high effort tasks in a short time. So that fitted me. And exactly at the same time as I stopped eating anything with sugar in it, I was just so astonished by all the delicious food I could have with my girlfriends and that of a various type, and I could discover like new dishes and enjoy the meat. I love meat and fish too, but it's a lot of effort to cook and such. Exactly, yes. The thing is the effort, you have to go to effort to cook and to start. But I think if you want to start, you can just start in a very simple way. As I said, you might just like use vegetables, meat or fish and stew it over a long period of time, and that's it. It's not exactly as much effort as you think. because even when you buy processed food, you still have to put it out of the package and even chop it sometimes or prepare it in some kind of way. And usually, when you want to prepare your own food, you just have to do a lot of chopping and stirring. The difference is you need to wait for it a bit longer time because you cook it over a longer time. But you get used to it because you plan it ahead. When you start, you just plan it ahead. I like things like liver, for example, and I tell you they give you such an energy, like no sugar thing, no cake, no cookie, no energy drink can give you such energy. And in energy drinks for energy, what is there anyway? I thought about this taurine. There's taurine as a substance. You get that in liver as well. So you get such an energy, but it comes more natural to your body, so you don't have this low downside effect like after drinking an energy drink. So and you don't cook liver for a very long time. You can just stew some liver and onions and eat it. You will see how much energy you will have, and then when you have a lot of energy, you prepare a lot of other dishes or one other dish, and then you can portion it and put it in your freezer, and then eat it next time you are hungry, and you have then you have prepared yourself um, food to have quickly, but it was still slow food. So yeah, I think it's just it starts with your decision and your mindset and planning ahead of it. Yeah, I think you need to like think about it in an active way if you want to um, take care of what you eat. You need to think about it in an active way and plan it a bit ahead. But it's not as hard as people say. Most of the people who say that it is hard, it is because they don't want to give up the cakes and sweets and chocolates and things like that. They like it very much. My mom is like that. She loves cookies and so on, and she, even though she knows it's wrong and that she won't stop because she likes it so much. But then an excuse is, oh, it's so hard, it's so difficult. It isn't actually. But depending on where you live, sometimes it's hard to get some ingredients. That is true. And mm, but in Sweden, you get a lot of like wild meat. You get good fish, from what I know. So I think you should be right. And you know what? I recently thought to myself that I won't be talking to people about food anymore because everybody is talking about it and everybody has a different idea of it. And I thought it can lead to sort of funny situations because I don't want to tell people what to eat and I don't want anyone to tell me what to eat. And it becomes often like to set to situations like with vegetarians and such, like that one man's meat is another man's poison. So I don't like to tell people what to eat and what to do. I think your body tells you the best if you are willing to listen to it. It will tell you what to do. Your body even will tell you how to cook your fish or meat and so on. If you really like concentrate and listen to it, you will know your nutritional needs, deficiencies and needs because that's in you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, write or make videos about it. Exactly. That's exactly what I don't want to do. you live in a bubble. It's awesome. Ah, that's right. And enjoy your bubble, Tony. Myself, I enjoy a good fart as well. No problem. And some people are like completely. That's also why I don't want to get into this topic of food and that, because some people are completely in a refusal. Like my dad, if you heard me telling to him, Father, do you want a bottle of rose water? No. So do you not want your skin to smell nice and healthy? No, I don't want. Father, do you want stinky beans? They have a vitamin that is crucial for you and could help you with your health issues. No, I don't want. And so that's also why I've experienced with people directly and indirectly. That's why I thought, ah, no, I won't be talking about it anymore. And some people who I talked with also recently, they said, ah, yeah, I wrote on someone else's stream some things about food or something, and they actually said that they like chemicals. They said, give me chemicals, give me tablets, and so on. So I thought, oh, okay, this is not my domain. I have no ambition in that domain whatsoever. Um, I don't like to tell people what to eat and so on, and I don't want them to mm, sort of burden me with the responsibility of it, because they like to do that. Oh, you told me to eat this, and look what happened to me. Now I'm 160 kilos, and it's all your fault. I don't want to have that. Thank you very much. No way. And that's what some would like to do. Already, my mom would like to do like that. Oh, look, I didn't eat anything, and it's your fault. No, I won't do. So that is why I won't make any videos or any material about it. And I'll say I will not talk about it that much unless it happens like today that I spill some beans. Hopefully not though. Yeah, and the one person said that to give them chemicals, they like to eat chemical food and unhealthy, and another person said that they will eat anything that's put in front of them. And then plus you have people I know, like my father, who doesn't want rose water because he doesn't want to smell of roses and he doesn't want stinky beans, and that's all the reasons to stay away from the topic. See? I can further. Some people eat stuff they wouldn't give to their dog. Exactly, exactly. And some have a dog's appetite, like me. I'll tell you a story. Before I had the liver, before I ate this liver and heart, because recently I got some from a good, like a good butcher's organs. I used to walk past the dog alley in a supermarket, and I would feel hungry then. And usually other parts of the other food, like food parts of the store, the ones that are made for people, because of the way I eat, they smelled a little bit too chemical for me, a little bit too perfumed, if you know what I mean. Even like roast chicken stands and so on. But when I went near the doggy food, thank you very much, Auntie Van, for an award. I appreciate it. So when I walked past the doggy section, I said, I feel a bit hungry. And a couple of times, thank you, Auntie. And a couple of times it happened, and I said, what is it with me? Why do I get hungry at the dog section? And it stopped after I had some good liver, because I realized they put organ meats for dogs and and for animals, and my body literally needed these nutrients, needed liver and heart and organ. So yeah, so that's about my appetite. That's why I tell you, your body tells you what you need to eat, what you have an appetite for. You just have to know how to listen to it. And I'm glad I didn't buy any doggy food. I would give my dog high quality liver, heart, and such every day. You're right, Katie. You're right. And some people do that actually. When I buy organ meat from the butchers, some people buy it for animals from them as well. She absolutely loved it. Ah, yeah, that's great. Yeah, yeah, dogs also know what to eat. And I've seen some animals like dogs and horses who refuse to eat this sort of pellet food, this sort of capsule like minced and processed things people feed them. They're right. The animals know. I wish I could just eat it raw too. Would make life so much easier. Ah, I think that if you get together with someone else who wants to eat with you will find it easier, Guru, because when you cook for yourself, it doesn't make sense, and you end up just eating raw food and thinking it might be better. But when you try to get together with somebody who likes to eat healthy, and you eat together and make dishes together, you will see, or for each other, then it will make sense, because eating is one of those like social things. that you enjoy rather together than on your own. And Jeff Ocean, I know you don't believe Kate, but I've always loved you every since we were kids. Ah, sure. You're dreaming, Jeff. I don't know you. When I first, yes. Oh, you're dreaming. Oh, you know, Jeff, it isn't. I'm not into this kind of romantic things, and um, yeah, I think you are right. Mm-hmm. I think that Sky, I think I know it for sure that when a person tries to do it on their own for themselves, it doesn't work because it literally doesn't make sense. But when you get together with another person or people who you want to enjoy the healthy food with, um, you will start to you will really improve on it. You will start to talk about it. You will learn to listen to your body based on how other people perceive food and their body and energy and so on. I think it's really good thing to get into together with other people eating. It's a very social thing. Auntie Van, is Auntie Van a real lady? Tell me, drummer, who is Auntie Van? They want. Smiley. Winky smile. Ah, so is she a lady or not? Or a bit? Oi. Seems to be my look. Definitely. I would do anything for them. No, oh, interesting. Interesting, Jeff. Um, over and under also, I think, drummer. I think that mm, I see a lot of people and you are only messing around. I see, Jeff. But I think that a lot of people, especially recently, heavily promote solitude, and that's a Meatloaf song. No, it actually has intelligence in it. The thing that somebody would do anything for love, but they wouldn't do something. It does make sense to me. Like love does make sense, and I think that it is very important, and it's yeah, and the opposite of it has been too heavily promoted for too long, like all the destructive negative topics and so on. There's been too much of it, a lot of like um, cheap quick tricks with negative subjects and negativity. So I prefer the love than and the negative subjects. It's just that I am into girls and I have my tastes and preferences and so on. But I enjoy love very much, of course. Love is for the ones that to be alone, but that's I don't agree with that, Drummer, not at all. It's the other way around, Drummer, I think. It's when one is not too close in themselves, too scared, too weak, then they stay alone. They don't dare to get on with another person. Jeff is crying with laughter. You're just bored and messing around. Don't worry. No, I don't worry, Jeff. I do think that the love is very, very important. It's just as I said, I have my preferences. I'm into girls. I know uh, what type of love I am into. That's all. But I am very much loving person, and I know how to give and receive love. It's very, very important to me. And yeah, it's nothing strange about that. Thank you, sweetie. Like now, sweetie gives me a cup of tea, you see? Yeah, and that's why I don't agree with this solitude promoting thing, and I don't agree with this thing of what you say, what Druma wrote about weakness. I think weakness is the other way around. Is when somebody is incapable of sharing love and life with another person. They're too scared, too sort of too closed off, too tight. Um, that's a big one, Coop. Yes, I shared with my lovely love, sweetie sweet. Honey, honey. This is and this is tea with milk and honey. I think that Coop is bigger than your stomach. Yes, but I have common stomach with my sweetie. What do you think? I don't drink all of it. I drink with my lovely love. I drink with my sweetie. I told you I'm into girls. And sweetie is alright with me liking other girls as well. Haha, true. What was I saying about love? I wanted to say that for girls, I think it is a little bit different than for you guys when you speak about love and that. I've heard that once, and I think it is so because you see, for a woman to like relax in a relationship, it takes a long time. Even to enjoy all the physical aspects of a relationship, for women it does take longer time than for men. So all the time scale and frequency of females is different. But that doesn't mean that love doesn't exist or something like that. It's just that the frequency and the time for women is different. I think people don't talk enough about that because there is no uniform timing or frequency in relationship. Love takes time. I think so, Jeff, especially for women. Time we don't have. No, we do. No, no problem. Everybody has, everybody has time. Yeah, I think everybody has time, and trust takes time as well. And one of the big conditions for love, uh, for many, is trust, because you can have this sort of spectacular love effect, like sort of love at meeting somebody's, like somebody new or something like that. That's one thing, but the other one, the one I'm more on about, the one I think is more important, is the love in a relationship. Um, the one that is more important for women to be able to fully get into their womanhood, if you know what I mean. Interesting how we've gone from dog food to love. Hmm. Perfectly fine for me though. No, SKT, I don't. I decided on that long time ago, already choosing to be an artist. I chose not to start family. And now I am 36. I have managed to reassure people around me about my decision. I think a lot of them, like my mother and my father, I think they would have expected me to have them already if I was to. Before, when I was in my 20s, they were still pressing me. They were pressing me to have to get pregnant, to start family, and so on. But now they don't. They don't anymore. They understood it. Already the live rhythm of an artist, in my estimation, didn't fit to start family. And I never had that sort of will. I never wanted to. Plus, then my sexuality and so on, it just doesn't fit. It's not my thing in any way. Like a marriage and things like that, it also doesn't fit me. I'm not even monogamic, like many girls. So you like hoes in different area codes is what you're trying to say. So you like hoes in different area codes. I don't understand what do you mean, Jeff. English is not my native language. I don't understand. Please write in a way so I can understand, Jeff. That's an American saying. Well, you mean like for polygamy and so on. Well, I speak English. I don't use American slang. If you were from America, you would get it. But I'm not. I'm not. I don't speak American English. I use English, and I'm not American. I'm not interested actually. Jeff. America is one of the places I never want to go to. I've been offered many times, but it's just not the place for me. I am European very much. Haha, you don't blame me. Yeah, a lot of people working in arts and so on um, pushed me in the past to go there because now they've also learned that this is my decision and I do things so. You never want to visit America either, Katie. That's interesting. Yeah, me neither. Not even. You'd like to go to the motherland, Europe. All right. Am I Scottish? No, 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 Jeff. I am Polish from Poland. Not Scottish, not Irish, Polish from Poland. I am. You have Polish in your DNA. All right. You see, Jeff, I use the raw drawing and you are 30% England, 20% Polish. All right. You see, Jeff, I use a traditional drawing and painting technique. I'm a master of pre-classical realism, and because my technique is so rare, there is none of it in America. There's none of it in USA, and that's why they were trying to invite me there, and they tried to influence me to go there. But I have been refusing. I have refused, and I am refusing so far, and it's known about. My technique originates from the Middle Ages. the rest of English is Russian, German, or Expression. European mood. And did you understand what I said about the technique, Jeff? What's that? Yes, exactly. So I didn't. That's why I said. You see, because my technique is very rare, I've been offered many times to go to America because there is none of masters of pre-classical realism in America. I'm a master of pre-classical realism, which is a traditional drawing and painting technique that originates from the Middle Ages, and one can only learn it through 5 years of apprenticeship drawing and painting 10 hours a day, every day, where any work that is not perfect has to be destroyed immediately by an apprentice. And it is very much like European tradition of painting. It originates from the Middle Ages, but from before Renaissance, from before when the art institutions are based on, it's older than that. It's from before the religious wars and so on. It's from the Middle Ages. It's old technique. It's an old technique. Yeah, it's older than the Renaissance, older than Michelangelo, older than Leonardo da Vinci. Sounds interesting. Yes, it is, but it's very specific. It's a lot of long hours of meticulous work. It's sort of, um, well, it doesn't mix with American ways at all. All the ways of branding and marketing. No, there is no quick tricks in my technique. Like the painting behind me, it took me 2,000 hours to paint. It's 1.5 meters by 1.5 meters all on canvas. There's about 50 fine layers of oil paint. And yeah, and just those American marketing branding ways, they don't fit with what I do. And there's no need for them because I based everything on quality of my work and on the amount of hours put into it and perfectionism. So it just doesn't mix well with American ways. These days, and then I go back. My mom is actually. I didn't get. I don't know what happened, but I didn't get the comment on the screen. Hope it's still working the stream. Uh, my mom, she does appreciate my technique actually. She is proud. She is also a bit of a different character to mine, so she is very impressed by the sort of weight and discipline and the effort put into work. She is not, and my father is photocopy. My father, he tries to copy what I do, but it doesn't work. It falls short. So I don't know if my stream is working, but anyway, I don't get comments on the screen. But my mom, she is very much impressed by the technique. She is literally terrified by the perfectionism and the effort that goes into each art piece. And I don't know if that stream is working or not. Mm, she is terrified by the perfectionism and by the amount of work that goes into work. And my dad tries to copy what I do. My dad tries to paint himself, and then he sees how difficult it actually is. Because when I do it, it looks kind of easy to him, kind of effortless. So he tries to copy. It's like ballet. When people see a ballerina dancing, they think it's so light and easy. I think the stream is working. So they think, oh, it's automatic, but they don't see like this long years of practice and training behind it. So it's like me with the apprenticeship. So yeah, my mom is alright, but whenever she sees something, she can have funny reactions. She's like, "Oh my God, how did you do this? Oh, it's so like that because it's so much work." And she always says, "I would never do so much work. I would never put so much work into it." I also design fashion, and when she's seen some, I did Berlin Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week, various shows in Nice and Cannes. And so my mother seen some of the fashion I made, and she held it in hands, and it's hand stitched by me, so not I don't use sewing machine. And she looked at those things, and she was like nearly crying and trembling. She has strong reactions like that, and she said that, "Oh my God, so much work! How to put so much work? I would never put so much work." She says that I like live like in the Middle Ages and go to the efforts like people did in the old days. But that's good. That's the aim, and that's what brings me my results. I'm sorry if I missed some comments because they don't come on the screen. And you, he wrote something funny about a thing, and I took only the last question. They don't appear. It was a little amazing. Um, that's a cool painting. Yeah, yes, it is. It is a cool painting. Actually, paintings are cool and they appeal as cool because I am very objective to my painting subject. So, unlike my mother, I don't get emotional. That's part of my professionalism. I think I'll be seeing comments on a different screen because they stopped coming here. I don't know. Sometimes it happens like that with the streams, and then it sorts itself out. So I will let it run for a while as I'm painting anyway, and I will see if it runs smoothly soon, or I'll just finish. As mm-hmm. I keep on for now, but I don't know if it's working, and I don't know if I'm seeing the comments. I know by the look of it, I didn't know it's certain, but 90% it's a Dorian style. Hi, Vogue. I think for a while my chat box got stuck, so I wasn't sure if the stream is still working or not. Sorry if I read it late or something. Sometimes it happens like that, that it sort of freezes for a while, and I don't see the new text coming. Oh, it's working. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. And usually when I just wait, it gets unstuck again and it's working. Thank you for letting me know. Thanks. And black tea with milk and honey. We drink that a lot. Usually about 2 to 3 liters of that per day. Nice. Usually two. Yeah. Together with my sweetie. Usually 2 liters per day. It's really nice, yes. Strong black tea, but we don't like Earl Grey type or not just like a Ceylon black tea with milk, but not half milk. You're not a tea drinker yourself, alright? We drink a bit of coffee too. Usually 1 liter per day, sometimes 2 liters per day, together with my sweetie. And we like indigenous coffee that comes from Colombia, like one place of origin beans. And we drink a lot of herbal teas as well. You don't drink coffee either. What do you drink then, Vogue? Water. Alright. Myself, I don't drink much water. I drink water kefir, which I make, which is a fermented drink, and or milk kefir from kefir grains. But I don't drink water much. Sometimes, but rarely. I like my tea even when it's hot. Oh boy, here we go with the fermentation. You're welcome, Vlog. Of course we do. I like you decorating chat box with green. It's Lucky color this year. That the mug is bigger than my head. I know. People say so. Bigger than my head, bigger than my stomach, bigger than my jugs. Yes, it's my big mug. And there's lovely tea in it. Laughing. See, I know I can put a smile on your face every time I come in here. That's right, that's no problem. That's positive, Bob. I'm going to go off the screen for a moment because I will start preparation for a bath soon. But I will continue painting still for a while, so I'll be back. I'll be reading chat as well. Hi, Pi-hole. You see, it's me. I'm a hardworking person. I know it impresses some, and some just can't get over it. And some think that if they were a girl like me, they would do things effortlessly. They would put no effort whatsoever. But my reality isn't so. I am a hard-working, pre-classical realism master, naturist, artist, painter. My effort isn't too high. Oh, you'll be surprised it is. The painting behind me took 2,000 hours to paint. Plus, it's the level of the skill and the technique trained through apprenticeship. And there's been a lot of effort put in apprenticeship to achieve the masterhood. You tell all my viewers this, yeah, of course, they need to know. They need to know what they are looking at. I hope you are a bad gamer, obviously, because like neither Asmongold nor Tyler One reacted in those ways. I did their portraits, and they're not saying like you are. So I conclude you must be a loser in your games. I conclude you must be a really bad gamer. Real. Because the way you are communicating shows me obviously that you are a bad gamer, a loser. Thanks, Jeff. As you are a bad gamer, you neither can work out anything, Pi-ho. I posted on YouTube videos of my time-lapse art projects, plus I uploaded to YouTube interviews from the news programs So it's obvious genuine things that I do that have happened in a real life, in a real time. No, you are wrong, Kaiho. And everybody knows that. You're wrong, Kaiho, and everybody knows that. And you obviously don't have a life for yourself, and that's why I say I conclude you are a loser in your games, because that's why you come here shouting it out. Then why do you bother so much? If my oh if so, why do you care so much? No, I'm not lying. I've done real things in a real time, and oh look, Jeff says he's my audience. There you go, Kaiho. And when I did those portraits of Asmongold and Tyler One, I did those from start to finish on the stream, and everyone saw that. What does your opinion mean to me? Got a lot of positive feedback. Everybody told me how good they were. That is that is his business. I'm into girls myself, so maybe you have a problem with that because maybe you can't be or you are dishonest about what you are in this sense. You are funny. I think your so-called soul is in a permanent purgatory, and either you come to let it be shown here or somewhere else. It's still the same thing. You are a bad gamer, Pi-Ho. You are a loser. And everybody knows. Hi, Mango. Everyone in Pi-Ho's life knows he's a loser. You see, a Pi-Ho, Jeff wrote that. How's my day been? Thank you very much, Mango. So she was really well. I'm actually preparing a lovely bath in the rose water, and I just have put stinky beans to ferment to make natto. I'm making natto, as you're a mango sushi, so you may know what natto is. It's fermented beans, stinky, sticky beans, stinky, sticky beans. That's what I'm making. That and a rose water bath. And my day's been really quite intense. I prepared some text. I had questions from the organization, Nature's organization, to do with my art forms and naturism. Oh, that you really, Michael, you really dropped badly here because I actually don't do fake things in 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 by no means, in no way. So you probably would be feeling more comfortable in the fake situation, as there is many of such, and I'm sure you will find many fake things on the stream. I suggest you look for the ones who are fake eyelashes. That's how you can find them easily recognized. Yeah, usually what there is a lot of things like that. Hi, why is it so hard just to be a nice human being? From exactly, Mango. Because he's a loser. High five, Mango. Okay, give me a minute. I'll finish this one. How long do you think it will take to finish this artwork? I haven't planned yet, Mango. I have started to work on 6 fourth-dimensional paintings over 2 years ago, and they are all going to be part of my private collection. As for other works, I always have a time schedule planned well ahead, especially for commissioned pieces. But with the fourth-dimensional paintings, which are part of my private collection, I especially decided not to do so. So that is why I don't know it and I haven't planned. I am not planning to sell these. I have not planned yet even if I'm going to show them and who will I show them to. I'm streaming whilst I'm painting, but even now some parts of the painting are covered. Like these are parts where the fourth-dimensional elements have been covered. So as I haven't planned when they'll be finished, I have obviously not planned anything to do with the commercial activities around them, because I even haven't planned if and who will see them when they are finished. You probably know that one of the finished masterpieces usually takes me 2,000 hours, like the one behind me. The full picture of that painting is on my site. But with those, with the fourth dimensional paintings, it's a completely different story. When was the first time you started doing art? Well, I have left an art academy after 3 semesters to learn the traditional technique through 5 years of apprenticeship. And I'm working as a professional artist. I've been doing so for 10 years. Yes, Mango Sushi, go ahead. If someone offered you $100,000 for this specific art piece, would you think about selling it? No, Mango Sushi, no. No, I'm not a sellout in any way, and neither that way or another. I can't do it because these are the pieces. The six fourth dimensional pieces are where I expand my reach as a master of pre-classical realism. So ultimately, it would be shooting myself in the foot to sell it before I have finished on them. So it doesn't make sense for me. Even in economical terms, it doesn't make sense. Does each art piece have a meaning behind it? Yes, Mango. And its meaning and its content is it's connected with its form always, and there is always a balance with my technique between the idea of the painting behind the painting and the perfection in making it. And then that idea and meaning can come from my own imagination when it is my own composition, but it also can be from someone else's when it's a commissioned piece. Is making artwork your full-time job? Yes, Mango Sushi, it is. I'm also a fashion designer of unique hand-stitched fashion prototypes. I did Berlin Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week, shows in Nice and Cannes. I make hand-stitched fashion prototypes. I'm going to switch off now. Goodbye.